Well, I have also received a request from our supporters here. They say that if possible, those in front please lower their umbrellas because those at the back want to have a look at the speakers. Alright? So bear with us. Alright, if you can. There's a little bit of rain, I don't think it will kill you. Alright, the next speaker I would like to call upon is Madam Jeannette Chong, who is a lawyer and obviously a very concerned Singaporean. Jeannette.
I am Mrs. Aruldoss. I am married to a Singaporean Chindian. We tied the knot 24 years ago this month. My husband and I have 4 children, 2 of whom are already over 21. Now some of you got to know me in 2011. At that time, many people were asking me, what do you hope to be doing in 2016? I do not know what answer they are looking from me, but here is my answer for you. In 2016, I want to have my first grandchild. Seriously. You see, deep down inside, I am really a grandma wannabe. Is that too much to ask? Why struggle, abstain, endure, if not for the sake of our children and our children's future? For Singaporeans, moms like me, all that we do, our life's purpose, is really for our kids. I'm sure moms out there are like me. We want to grow old in the company of our children and our grandchildren. Is that too much to ask? No! But today, in 2013, I feel the great sadness that I may grow old alone, separated from my children, and I might not have any grandchildren. For after reading the road map prescribed by the government's disastrous white paper, the prospect that my children will work and live abroad looms more likely than ever before. The white paper shows us that every year, more and more Singaporeans are living and working abroad. Currently, there are 200,000 Singaporeans living or working abroad. Is that a statistic to be celebrated? No! It paints a sorrowful picture, at least for me, for every Singaporean son or daughter who is living and working abroad. There is a Singaporean mom who misses her child in painful silence. So there are currently 200,000 families living separately and apart from their loved ones, and this number is set to grow. If our missing loved one eventually returns back to Singapore for good, then our sacrifice would have been vindicated. But we all know many overseas Singaporeans remain abroad indefinitely, leaving their parents to grow old by themselves. Over Chinese New Year, the Straits Times published on its front page a photo of a family having their reunion dinner in front of a huge TV screen in which a family member joined by internet. Perhaps the Straits Times intended the photo to be a picture of festive joy. For me, the picture makes me feel so sad. I do not want to be that family who will have to make do with a virtual image of their loved one instead of his physical presence.
That's right.
It seems that after the Singaporean mom has devoted her best years of her life to her family, she should not expect the company of her children in her later years. That's what to expect. As for our children who do live in Singapore, they will take years to feel financially secure enough to settle down. And by the time they do settle down, it might be too late for them to have children. A host of factors conspire against those who want to marry and have children. Long working hours, long queue for affordable housing, high cost of living, and the list goes on. For those who do get married, it is a struggle for them to stay married, given the stresses of living. And even if they are married, they do not even have the confidence to start a family. In the past days, you have heard so much about our low birth rate. According to the white paper, low birth rate means not enough people in our workforce. So the solution is to have more foreigners imported into our country to make up for the shortfall in our workforce. Our leaders say that they are concerned about the TFR because it affects the vibrancy of our economy. I am so disappointed that the white paper sees the problem as an economic one. Low birth rate jeopardizes the vibrancy of our society and in turn the integrity of our national identity. Low birth rate is not just an economic problem. It affects us personally. Less babies mean fewer Singaporeans get to be mothers, fathers, uncles, aunties, sisters, brothers, or grandparents. It affects our quality of life and our aspirations as a nation. Many Singaporeans think nothing of sacrificing for the benefit of the next generation. But if we do not have a next generation, then what are we sacrificing for? The authors of the white paper see Singaporeans as economic digits whose worth is measured by the value of their contribution to the economy. The white paper views our demography in terms of how it affects our economy and our GDP. Frankly, I do not really know what is GDP, except that ministers' bonuses are to GDP. We know that it is wrong to measure a child's worth by his grades. So we should not measure a Singaporean's worth according to his contribution to GDP.
That's right.
You know the saying, home is where the heart is. My heart is in Singapore. Singapore is my home. But do our young Singaporeans feel the same way? Do they feel the sense of belonging as we in our generation do? I think that many young Singaporeans feel disconnected. I feel that many of our young generation do not feel a sense of belonging to Singapore. So their eyes keep looking outside Singapore. What happened? While we attended to building up our physical infrastructure, did we do enough to build up our social infrastructure?
No!
How are we caring for our elderly and for those who are less economic productive? How are we looking out for the least among us? Are we just leaving them behind in the pursuit of prosperity? How well are we supporting families? How much are we really doing to help Singaporeans who want to get married and have children? I believe we are not doing enough.
That's right.
Clearly, we have lost the plot. We have built a house, but not a home. Instead of building our nation, our leaders focused on growing our economy. Instead of sustaining our national identity, our government concerned itself with sustaining GDP. Instead of building our people, our ministers brought in other people. Our leaders have forgotten that the economy is meant to serve us, not us, the economy. My fellow Singaporeans, don't give up on Singapore. Let no more of us join the hordes of ex-Singaporeans who have lost hope in Singapore's future and have left us for good. Yes, we have lost time, but it is not too late. I truly believe things can change for the better. My roots are here and I am not going anywhere. I believe that we are all here today because we care and we love our country, and we are here to stay. As a people, we have been greatly blessed, but we have also greatly endured. The hardships that we have encountered have made us as a people stronger than we know. The ups and downs that we have experienced uniquely as Singaporeans have served to form an unbreakable bond between us. This is our Singapore identity. So with our hearts joined by a common past, we are co-owners of our own future. So let us join together to reset the course for a Singapore society which is right for us and for our next generation. I truly believe we can make our beloved nation truly a home for Singaporeans. Thank you.
That was Miss Jeannette Chong or Mrs. Aruldoss.